Hey guys, this is Melissa with momsoflife.com, and today we are going to be showing you how to make your own do-it-yourself grow light. I know grow lights could be very expensive, and if you're able to make them yourself, it ends up cutting the cost down a lot. And last year we ended up doing our seed starts indoors in our bathroom with all these, homemade grow lights. So let's start showing you how to do it. So first thing you need to do is mark the center of this is a 2-foot by 13-inch air duct. So I'll leave a picture of where I found this in Home Depot. All this stuff I actually got at Home Depot except for the extension cord that we're going to use. So after getting the center of my air duct measured out and marked, then I went in on each corner 1 inch. And 1 inch on each corner. So we're going to sit there and drill those holes now. So I just have basically a newspaper underneath, rolled up and put underneath so I don't drill into my table here. Your holes made. I think this is basically a 1/4 of an inch drill bit. And then now we need to make our center. So this is a 1 1/4 drill bit here, and it needs to be bigger than, this is a wide light bulb fasten thingy. This is a waterproof, basically light socket, and then it has the neutral and the hot wire, and then we're going to wire this up. It needs to be smaller than this because this should not go through the hole in your air duct. So this is a perfect size, basically the 1 1/4. Okay, and we're going to go right where we marked for the center. Okay, so if you get any tearing, it's okay. You can actually just push it back on the other side. So you could just take a drill bit or whatever and just kind of push it back. Okay, so now we want to tape the circle so there's no rough edges basically showing. And I'm just basically using electrical tape. You can use any really type of tape you want. You just want to protect from not actually scratching this thing up when we stick it through. Okay, so now that we got that part, we are going to need to wire this up next. I'll set that aside here. So when you get an extension cord, whatever length it is, you need to pay attention to, there is a smooth side of the extension cord when you're looking at the 2 wires. One is hot and one is neutral, and the neutral side always goes to the long hole. So then you'll feel it and you'll realize that there's 2 little bumps going all the way down the wire. That is your neutral wire. So when you cut this off, you just got to remember, smooth side is always hot. So we could cut this off. Pull this open here. So this is a 16 gauge wire, which is slightly bigger than our 14 here, or smaller, I mean. So you just trim that with the 14 gauge I have on my wire stripper, unless you have a 16 gauge. Okay, so then after you get that, you just gotta remember to sit there and pay attention. I see that this one is a little rough, so this one is going to go to my white neutral wire, and we want to take this off here. kind of twirl these together, and then after you get that, you want to sit there and cut it off, because you only want basically like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch showing here. And then since I got one 14 gauge wire, one 16 gauge wire, I'll not be using the red, I'll be using the beige color wing nut. The red nut is for two 14 gauge wires, which my 16 is smaller wire than my 14, and then give each wire a pull. And then take your smooth wire here, and if you need to, you could also mark with a black Sharpie on the smooth side before you start taking it apart so you don't get lost a little bit later. Twirl that. Give the wires a tug, make sure that they're not loose. And then after we're done with this, we're going to actually tape up the wing nuts and then tape these. After we tape each one separately, we're going to tape them together so then the wires don't slip out. So we need to take this and feed it on through, and take this part, get it here. You could actually put, these are basically skewers that you have like probably in your kitchen. So what I do is I take like some rubber bands and put on each side, so then they become a stop. It's just a cheap way instead of getting like some metal rod at Home Depot. And plus most people have rubber bands and like some little wooden sticks around the house anyways. So you just take this and you feed it on through. And once it gets to the other side, you'll just take a couple rubber bands. So that's one side, and you can see it keeps this shape. Once you have it on, it kind of keeps that nice dome shape to reflect the light onto your plants that you're growing. Okay, and we'll do the other side here. If you want to get all fancy, you could probably get some metal, like long rods. I've seen people do, but to me that adds weight and it adds cost. And you're trying to sit there and have growing vegetables at the lowest price possible, but yet still keep it organic. So this is a nice alternative. So once we're at this point, we need something to basically hang up the light. So what I like to use is baler twine, or any type of twine that you have that you usually use for your gardening anyways. So I end up just hooking up one side, and you always want to sit there and make sure that you melt this side so it doesn't unravel. And then I just pull that in there like that. Should hold, and then we don't want it to be too long, so we're just going to have it probably, I'd probably say 2 inches off of the thing, off of the actual air duct. So what I'm going to take now is this chain link that you could actually get at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're in the hardware section, and they'll cut it to size for you. This is about 1.5 feet if I remember correctly, maybe 2 feet. No, I think that's 1.5 feet. So then you want to measure, make sure you cut. my baler twine tied with onto a chain link on one side, and then now I'm going to do the other side. Start. There it is. Okay. Okay, so now you basically have, you know, these all chained up, and in order for these chains not to move on each side, you need to sit there and you could use a tie wrap, whatever you have, to basically tie the chain directly in the middle. So then the grow light won't move. That looks like the middle to me. I'm gonna pinch it. And then I'm gonna take my bread tie that I got off of a bread loaf and just twist it. So this will not allow it to move, basically, once I get this all hooked up. Okay, so now that we got both the sides all chained up and ready, and now we have our extension cords, I want to thread through one of the sides. It doesn't really matter, but it's the side that you want it plugged in on. So just thread that through that baler twine loop thingy. Okay, and then we sit there and get some electrical tape or any type of tape really, and you just want to kind of tape this down in the middle here. This will just keep things a little bit more neater and out of the way. Okay, so basically it should hook up and then hang kind of like this. And if it goes off to one side, it's usually because of the extension cord, so just move your extension cord over to whatever side adds more weight. So now let's then see if this thing really works. Okay. So we're gonna flip this over, and I got my CFL grow lights, grow bulbs, and I can't find these anywhere besides basically Amazon. But let's plug this in and see. So when you have it all hooked up, it's going to be looking like this. Our plans are on like those metal shelves that you get at Home Depot, those wire racks. So this will be excellent so that I can raise and lower. And to get these to stay attached to the wire shelves, I'm going to sit there and use these S hooks. So these come in a pack of 4 that you could also get at Home Depot. All of this stuff you could get at Home Depot. But basically the S hook will hook onto your shelf and hook onto a chain, and then it'll easily hang, and you got your cheap, inexpensive grow lights right there. So if you like to do any of these projects at home or have another way of doing it inexpensive, let me know in the comment section, because I always like to learn new things, and just tell me how you like this. So this is Melissa with MomSimpleLife.com. Thank you. Bye.